Welcome back to the channel, everybody. I hope you're having a wonderful week so far. And today we've got free agents coming up this summer. Some players, already being rumored to sign contracts with new clubs abroad. So we've got 15 players today. We're going to talk about each and every one. We're going to talk about kind of what their transfer value is. Obviously, some of these values are different because they only have 6 months on their contract. They're kind of, what club they're at right now. Their position, as well as where I think they will end up, as well as kind of the season that they've had so far with their respective club. Without further ado, if you enjoyed any of this video, hit a like button down below and hit that subscribe button and comment down below the player you are most excited to see on the move this January or even this upcoming summer as a free agent in the comment section down below. I'll have a pinned comment there. Let me know who you're most excited to see. Starting off with our first player, we've gone with Brighton's right back, Tariq Lamptey, a player that's been rumored with a few different clubs in the Premier League, expecting a move very soon. 12 million is what his transfer value is set at. 12 million euros, that is. He's currently at Brighton. Tariq Lamptey, I think, limited to just 7 appearances, sitting behind a player like Joel Veltman currently. I'm thinking maybe West Ham are linked with him, but I've gone with Everton as where his next club will be. I think it just kind of makes sense for me. Tariq Lamptey will get his career back on track. Everton desperately need a right back at the moment. Patterson can't stay healthy. Seamus Coleman's, I think, 400 years old at this point. So I'm going to go with Tariq Lamptey to Everton as the first player we're going to talk about on a pre-contract. It wouldn't be a pre-contract. As a free agent, he would make the move or even move in this January transfer window. Our second player, we've gone with a Bayern Munich player in Leroy Sane. Obviously, there's a few Bayern players on the move. A few players potentially on the move to Bayern as well. Very soon. Winger, 45 million is what his value is marked at currently. He's 28 years old and he's contributed 3 goals and 1 assist in his 6 starts, but it just looks like with his injuries and competing for minutes on that left-hand side, he's seeming to be a little more surplus to requirements at Bayern Munich right now. I think a move to Galatasaray could really provide him with a fresh start that's very much needed in Turkey. The third player on the list is going to be Manchester City's main man, Kevin De Bruyne. He's currently valued on transfer market at 35 million euros, but I think you could obviously get him very much cheaper. Yeah, I don't think he'll move this January, but if you were, you could get him for a much better deal. The team that I'm going to suspect him to go to, I think he's not going to go to Saudi. I don't think he's going to chase the Saudi money. I don't think he's going to move anywhere else in Europe. I think if he leaves Manchester City, which I think he will, I think he goes to MLS newcomer San Diego. They want to make a bold statement being the new boy on the block, and I think no better way than world-class midfield maestro in Kevin De Bruyne. Now, the first of the 3 big-name players at Liverpool, we've got Mohamed Salah. Right winger, of course. I don't need to tell you anything about him. I think I have got written here 17 goals, 13 assists. I think he scored his 18th goal of the season in 19 starts. He's got 31 goal contributions now, just 1 game after New Year's. It's hard to see him leaving Liverpool. I don't see many clubs linked with him. His transfer value is still up at 55 million, but again, we're talking about him moving on a free. While many fans, would like him to stay at Liverpool, while many, opposing fans would dream of his departure, I think the reality of the situation is that he will sort out his contract with Liverpool. I think they will get something sorted. I think he will stay at the club. I don't see him moving on just yet. Up next is Bayer Leverkusen's center back, 30 million euros, Jonathan Tah. I think, after a decade at Leverkusen, I think he's finally ready to make the move elsewhere. He's 28 years old. Strong performances out there for him. He's made 2 goals this season. Fantastic. He's just gotten better every single season. And there's a club that we're going to talk about quite a bit in this video. And this club is going to need to really take advantage of free agent signings, or pre-contract signings. And the club that we're talking about is Barcelona. I think he's definitely caught their eye. With financial challenges, they'll need to be very savvy in the market. I think Jonathan Tah being a free agent, I think they can go out and get him. I think they can bring him in. I think he wants to move to Barcelona from what I've been reading online. I think this one's pretty cut and dry, Jonathan Tah to Barcelona. Now, another player who's been linked with Barcelona is a player I don't think will end up there. It's obviously Heung-Min Son, winger. Tottenham, I think he leaves Tottenham this year. I think they're ready to move on. I think he's ready to move on. I think he's just kind of past that point for them. I think he doesn't really fit the way that Ange wants to play. But he's still been crucial for them. 11 goal contributions in 15 starts this season. Jose Mourinho's now at Fenerbahce. It's seeming like a reunion's on the card. Let me know what you think down below. Do you think Son makes the move to the Super League? I think he does. I think this one kind of makes sense. I've also seen him linked to Galatasaray, but I do think Fenerbahce reunite with Jose Mourinho. It just feels like a transfer that will happen. Up next, a big name on the market, one of the bigger fullbacks in the market that we're going to talk about in this video, Alphonso Davies, Bayern Munich's left back right now, 50 million, Champions League winner. He's got pace, he's got creativity, he's strong, he's defensive, can dribble. He's only got 1 goal and 2 assists this season so far, but with Agent Jude possibly involved, I saw a image of him and Jude at some party together. I think Real Madrid will get this one over the line before January ends. I think by February we'll find out that there's a pre-contract agreed on with Davies. Now moving over to Italy, we've got Frank Anguissa, or I believe he goes by something else, but Anguissa, defensive midfielder for Napoli. He's valued at 27 million. I think that, he's got very solid defensive stats. I'm looking at other clubs in Serie A. Juve were linked with him last year. During the January window, there's a few Premier League clubs. We'll talk about one specifically here in a second. But the club I think he's going to go to is going to be AC Milan. I think this one makes sense. I think if he's going to stay in Italy, Milan is the club that would probably utilize his services best, with probably Ranieri's expecting to move on very soon. And then the other club I'm going to go with is Tottenham. I think they could definitely use him. I think he's had time in the Premier League in English football, and it just makes sense to me. I think that Anguissa to either Tottenham or AC Milan would be a good signing for either club. Speaking of defensive midfielders, we're going to go to Joshua Kimmich next. Another Bayern Munich player valued at 50 million, still under 30, I believe, still relatively youngish, but I think that he fits like a glove in Manchester City. He's obviously worked under Pep before. 15 starts in the Bundesliga this season. He's able to create opportunities, break up counterattacks. He's created 8 big chances this season. And Manchester City needs support at right back as well as defensive mid. And he can play both of those positions. Maybe not the pace you want from a right back in the Premier League, but he does have the ability to hop into the midfield, a tool that obviously we know Pep likes to utilize. More right back and fullback players we got to talk about here. We've got Ola Aina, Nottingham Forest right back, has had a very good season. Solid tackling and interception stats so far. He seems poised to sign a new deal with Forest. I think this is what's going to happen. I don't see him moving many other places. His standout in defense is really what's brought many people's eyes on him. His lack of attacking output to go with it is really why I think he stays at Nottingham Forest and signs a new contract there. Plus his age, he's a little bit older than some of these other profiles that we've talked about in this video when it comes to that right back position. Now we're going to see a reunion at Manchester United. This one feels like it's going to happen any day now. I think it's going to happen in January. Angel Gomes to Manchester United. It seems like they want to bring him back. He can play in an 8. He can play in a 10. Whatever they need him to do. He's got speed, so he can play out wide as well if they need him to. He's shown flashes of brilliance. I think he could definitely be an understudy for Bruno Fernandes currently. It just makes sense. Bring him back to United. He's valued at 25 million, but again, I think United get him for a cut deal here with his academy roots especially. I think he wants to return to Manchester. Now the big name on the list, we all know about it. We all know where he's going. We all know what's going to happen. It's going to be Trent Alexander-Arnold going to Real Madrid. He's valued at 75 million. I mean, just look at his stats this season. I'm not going to talk about this game today against Manchester United. He played very poor. To be quite honest with you, but 12 big chances created. He's joint 13th in the Premier League in that stat. Rumor has it, of course, Real Madrid, and of course, again, thanks to the influence of Agent Jude, we all thought 4 years ago, maybe 3 years ago, especially during that recent World Cup, 3 years back now, it looked like Trent and Henderson and some of those players in the England camp. I don't think Henderson was at that World Cup, but players in the England camp were talking to Jude about going to Liverpool, and it looked like that was what was going to happen. Little did we know Jude was going to bring Trent to Madrid with him, and that's exactly what we've seen happen here. And I think he's destined to be a star of the Bernabeu. However, Liverpool fans, you may be losing a defensive right back, or not a defensive right back, an attacking right back that really has a lot of output for him. But I have a player that's going to be joining you this summer on a free transfer. I think it's going to be Jonathan David. 45 million for the Lille talisman, 11 goals, 1 assist, and 13 starts this season. In his last 3 campaigns for Lille, he's had 15 goals or more. And he's a consistent finisher. I think he'll slot right into Arne Slot's team and make a perfect Darwin Núñez replacement. And the final Liverpool player of the video, our 14th player on the list, is Virgil van Dijk. He's played every minute for the club so far this season, including today. I think that this will be a pretty easy renewal for Liverpool. Little buzz linking him anywhere else. I think he re-signs his contract at Liverpool whenever he gets it. And a deal is made. I think they will come to an agreement of some sort, because I don't think that Virgil van Dijk really wants to go anywhere else. He's not really linked with anywhere else. There's no talks from him about wanting to go play anywhere else. It just seems like that's where he wants to be, and that's where he will stay. And then finally, Thomas Partey at Arsenal, the last player on our list, midfielder. He's versatile. He's played at the right back position. He's played in midfield. I think this one is going to be Barcelona written all over it once again. I know I don't think Arsenal try to keep him, to be quite honest with you, given a lot of things that have gone on these past few seasons. I think that Thomas Partey will be on the move, and I think Barcelona will go out and sign him. But anyways, that is it from me. Thank you so much for watching this video. Which transfer do you think will happen? Do you agree with all a few of them? Let me know down in the comment section down below. Do you think maybe Lamptey ends up at West Ham? Do you think he stays at Brighton and fights for a spot? Let me know in the comment section down below. And is there any players that I missed that you think is going to make a transfer this January or even in the summer that you are excited to see? And where do you think they'll end up? If you enjoyed this video, be sure to check out one of my latest videos on each Premier League club's must-sign player this January transfer window. We talk about all 20 Premier League clubs and who they need to sign going into this January transfer window. So it'll be right here at the top of your top of your screen, this corner. But anyways, that's all for me. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.